Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be playing with one of my favorite brands, Chantecaille. I'm going to do a full face of my Chantecaille favorites. I've got a new little complexion combo that I want to share with you, as well as I finally picked up the Luxe Chrome Duo. This is in the PIAZZA San Marco. This is for Donna. She is a subscriber and she told me that I must pick up this eye quad, especially for anyone who has hazel eyes. So Donna, I picked this up. We're going to be playing with this new little goodie. This is new to me, as well as creating the rest of this look. So if you are interested in seeing how I created this look today, playing with some of my Chantecaille favorites, then let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. We are going to get our glow on this morning, making a little combination. So as many of you know, my favorite little foundation is Chantecaille Future Skin, and oftentimes I will use a little bit of the Rose de Mai. This is the face oil to give me a little bit of a glow, but I just got the Radiance ELIXIR, and so we are going to be using this. I have really been enjoying this guy, and there was a little trick that I learned from Angela Rogers. I was watching one of her YouTube videos, and she was showing how she creates a little, like as if I've had 8 hours of sleep using this beauty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few little drops of this milky goodness, and this is what it looks like. This one feels super hydrating, and I'm going to put just a little underneath my eyes here. That was what she was sharing, is she uses this kind of right underneath the eyes. I did already have eye cream on, but this is just going to give me a little extra glow. And pick a couple more drops here, and it just has a really nice little kind of reflection in it. It feels light on the skin, but it also feels super hydrating. So as we are shifting here in Portland, Oregon to a little bit cooler weather, I am wanting to add just a little bit more hydration to the mix. So I put on a layer of this, and then you'll see it'll give me a nice little glow, but it's not over the top. As I've said, I love a good glow, but I want it to look natural. I don't want it to be fake looking. Then I'm going to use the Chantecaille Future Skin. I'm in the shade Alabaster. I also have it in Ivory, and Ivory is more of my summer shade, and then Alabaster tends to be more year-round and winter. I'm just going to put a little bit of this. So often in between these in between seasons, I'll use just a little bit of both. Again, you don't have to do that. This is just something I do since I have these two colors. And I will just take a teeny bit of this around the perimeter of the face. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a sponge, and I'm just going to be kind of patting that into my skin, and it is just going to give me a light layer, and then I can always add a little bit more coverage using the Real Skin. This is the eye and face stick, which I love. It's got a nice little creamy formula, and it can give you just a little more coverage where you need it. Okay, so the reason I love this foundation so much is just that it really makes me look like I have nothing on my face. You still look like you have skin. And then now that I've been playing with this combination with the Radiance Elixir and the foundation, you can see it's going to give me a really nice kind of glow here. So then what I will do is I use this just on areas where I want a little bit more coverage, and I still use my Le Camouflage STYLO underneath my eyes because this one has like a little bit of a caffeine complex that almost gives me like a little temporary eye lift, and I just love this for my underneath the eyes. I am going to take a little bit of this stick, you guys. It's so good. It's just gonna give me a little bit. I'm just gonna take it where I usually get a little bit of redness and just a few more right on my cheeks. And I am in the shade 1 in that one. Then I love to kind of first start with just the warmth of my fingers and kind of push this into the skin. As I've mentioned a couple different times, this kind of reminds me of the Clé de Peau kind of concealer stick. It just has that kind of really lovely texture, and it's also just going to give you some nice little coverage, but it's not, again, going to look like you're wearing a ton of makeup. So I'm just kind of taking down a little bit of redness in my cheeks that I naturally get. And then I'm going to take the sponge and I'm just going to kind of push this in, make sure everything's blended out. Then I'm going to take my Le Camouflage STYLO, and then I'm just going to take a little right in that hollow area, you guys. Not too much product, but one thing that I do like about Chantecaille, everything kind of layers really nicely. I feel like I can't overdo it. So one of the reasons I love this brand is that I feel like the ethos is just to kind of enhance your natural beauty, not cover yourself up with a ton of makeup. So everything seems to have kind of a nice lighter kind of texture to it. It all builds super nicely on each other, but I never feel like I'm wearing a ton of makeup even though I've been using several products. So I just feel like it gives me a nice natural look. So now I'm going to let this kind of sink in while we go play with the eyes. Now Donna, who is a subscriber, told me that I must get the Piazza San Marco, and this is in the Le Chrome Luxe Eye colors. You guys, I love this formula, and this is the Piazza San Marco, and it is just gorgeous. I love all of these, but she was like, you have to get this purpley toned, and then it's got this beautiful kind of silver. So these are a little bit of a swatch. Let me put it on my... And here is what it looks like on my hand. Super pretty. And then I also picked up the Violet Damask little liner, and this one tends to go with this eye quad. And again, you guys, I love anything with some purple undertones in them because it's going to kind of emphasize my hazel eyes. So was super excited. I had ended up kind of going back and forth when I was buying one of these, and I ended up buying Kenya, which I really love, which is more plum. And this one's going to give you this kind of beautiful purple tone, almost a little muted, and then this is sort of a silver, so more of these cool undertones. I hope everybody had an amazing weekend, and I'm going to start by, take these guys out real quick. I'm going to start with this little beauty right here, and we're going to take that color and we're slowly going to put this on my lid. Just a nice light wash, and I love these Le Chrome duos, partly because guess what, it's only 2 shadows, and I just find them to be so pretty and really nice on more mature eyes. They're not too over the top, And just kind of take a minute to lightly blend this beautiful color. And I am just slowly making my way up into that crease, okay? Just a nice little light wash. Okay guys, I just put that purple tone down on my lid, and it's so pretty because it's got a little bit of silver already in just that shade. Now with this guy, I'm just going to put a little bit kind of right in my iris with my finger, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to lighten up right above that iris so it will catch. I'm just going to go here. Sorry, wasn't trying to flip anybody off. And I'm just adding a little bit of that lighter shade, and I'm kind of taking this and then I'm pulling it kind of over here to the midline of the eye. I'm also going to take just a teeny bit, you guys, and we'll put just a teeny up in that brow bone. Give me a little bit of an eye lift. A little wash of color, and then the magic is going to happen, at least on my eye shape, is I need to define my eyes. I sometimes feel like they kind of fall into my head, and I'm going to use this violet damask, and you guys, I love this color. It's going to really pop my eyes with this little duo. So I'm going to take this little fresh pencil and I am going to kind of wiggle it by the lash line, and you will see it's going to start to, I'm kind of going as close to my lash line to start, then we'll smudge a little bit of this on the top, but already can you see the difference between the two eyes? Then I'm going to come over here. Okay, then I am going to soften that little line here. And then we'd have that violet damask that just sort of defined my eyes, made them pop a little bit more. Please feel free, if you are not an eyeliner person, you could just literally keep it with the duo. Just the way my eye shape is, they tend to work a little bit better with a little bit of eyeliner. So we're going to then finish off the eye using my favorite. This is the Chantecaille Faux CILS Longest Lash Mascara. I'm going to go spend a couple minutes putting on my mascara, then we will come back and finish off the face. And this is the PIAZZA San Marco along with the Violet Damask eyeliner. And then I am going to use some powder. You can use whatever powder you like. I'm sorry, I hate using things that are limited edition or out of stock, but I am going to go ahead and I'm going to buff a little bit of this is their Perfect Blur powder, and I am just going to kind of buff this on the skin to kind of set everything before we put on a little bronzer. Okay, set the makeup. I'm going to use a little bit of my Real Bronze and Goa, and I'm just going to warm up the skin just a little bit. across the bridge of the nose, a little bit underneath my chin, create a little shadow there, and any place else where the sun will kind of naturally hit. Don't want to get too bronzy, but I do kind of want to give myself a little sculpt here. And I'm going to give myself a little pop of color. I'm going to be using the Emotion blush. This one's the B, and I'm just going to use a little pop of that. And one thing that I always like to do is I kind of like to use a little bronzer, even a little blush. I will kind of take my brush and I'm just going to take a little bit of both of those, and I'm just going to put just a teeny bit of that in that crease area just to sort of tie everything together, the colors of everything, and I just think that kind of adds a little bit more definition to the eye. So I'm just taking again a little bit of the bronzer, little bit of the blush, and then I will just put a little bit in that crease area. I just feel like that ties everything together. I swear this was a tip that a makeup artist gave me at some point throughout my life, or maybe I just made it up, not sure. I'm not sure, but just a habit that I have. And then we are going to finish with lip, but before I do that, I am going to give myself a little bit of spritz from the Pure Rose Water. Favorite stuff ever, you guys, and we're just going to give us little spritz here. This is something that I will use throughout the day as well, where I will just give myself a little refresh. Then for lips, I'm going to use this combo. I'm actually going to use Plumeria. So I have used Acacia, I have used Tamarind, and I do love Plumeria, which is more of a cool toned plum. And then I'm going to use the lip liner in Discreet, and I just love this combo. This is the shade Discreet. And then this is the shade Plumeria. Just beautiful. So I'm going to give my lips a little definition with it's just a tad bit darker but similar tones. And I'm going to take Plumeria. And this is the shade Plumeria. And of course I put a little bit of that Discreet down, so it's a teeny bit darker than the Plumeria. They tend to mix really well together, and that's been kind of one of my favorite lip combos. Now I am feeling plenty glowy, but if we want to add just a little bit of the Radiance Elixir as a highlighter, we can do that. I'm just going to take a teeny bit, you guys, right here. And I just wanted to show you, if you wanted to highlight a little bit, this is so hydrating, and it's just going to kind of sink right into the skin. So I will put just a little bit there, a little bit here. Then you can even do a little bit of an eye lift. You can take just a little bit up by the eyes here, and it's not going to be over the top. It's not going to be too much. It's just going to kind of sink in and give you really healthy glowy skin, which I love. So this is a very versatile product, which also has a bunch of little skincare benefits in it. So I've really been enjoying this Radiance Elixir. Then we're gonna end with fragrance of the day, and I was like, what do I feel like? So today I'm kind of feeling like something a little bit more warm, soothing, kind of a sensual fragrance, and I'm gonna go with Frangipane. So you guys, this one is sort of a kind of warm, soothing, I almost think of it as a bit sweet, a little bit buttery and rich fragrance, not over the top. And I loved talking to Mandy Davis, is a good friend of mine, and she ended up picking up two of my favorites, the Vetiver and the Frangipane, and she says she either likes to smell like a man or like cake. And I was laughing. I'm like, you know what? That is kind of like me too. I love those kind of woody, earthy kind of fragrances. Like I love men's cologne. I just think it smells so good, kind of that fresh, kind of woody feeling. And then I love those kind of sweet, rich, sensual, cake, kind of gourmand fragrances. So she had picked this up as well, and I was so happy because she was happy with her picks. But we're gonna put this guy on today, and I just love this one. There's a freshness to it, but there's also the dry down that's going to be warm, cozy, sensual. It is kind of a rainy day. The weather is shifting, and I just love this kind of cozy, almost a touch sweet kind of fragrance. So no, it doesn't smell like cake per se, but it does have some elements that have a little bit of florals. And then it's going to dry down to one of my favorites, which is a vanilla musk amber. It's got a touch of cedar in there, so it's just so well balanced. It's not too sweet, it's not too florally, it's not too earthy. It just is perfect. Okay guys, this is the final look today, getting a little bit of a healthy glowy skin look, as well as this pretty eye kind of purple tones in the PIAZZA San Marco Luxe Chrome Eye Duo. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.